What's good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another great edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. Today is finally our draft recap day. We're breaking down all our picks from our teams. Some teams had a great draft, some teams had bad drafts. We're gonna find out what was our teams. Are we the good teams, the bad teams?
The Giants are the bad team.
You're just a hater, so you can just zip your lip, homeboy. I had drafting a guard. So zip it. Shout out to you, Jay. How you doing? After the guard, you ended up drafting a cornerback who tore his ACL. You ended up drafting Texas's third running back. You did draft Oregon's right tackle, so good for you.
You drafted Jackson Dart, so I mean, you got
no
room to talk about anything.
Oh, you don't know. What if he pans out? 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 If he pans out, you can shut the fuck up. If he pans out, you shut the
goddamn if.
Yeah, you know who hasn't panned out? Dak Prescott hasn't panned out. Your ass can't get out of this.
And now, and he was the number 6 overall draft pick when Dak Prescott was a fourth round draft pick.
Nobody should have drafted him at 6 overall. Everyone disagreed. I don't know why they drafted him. I disagree with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with Jackson Dart.
No, people agreed that Jackson Dart was going to draft in the bottom half of the first round. What are you talking about?
Exactly. So it was a dumb draft. It was a dumb draft pick.
So everybody was stupid. Everyone said this, so everybody's dumb. Everybody said this, so they're dumb.
Yes.
Everyone said he was a bottom the first, second guy. Everyone said this.
Because they knew that's only because the Giants were dumb enough to do it. They knew that they anticipated the stupidity of the New York Giants.
No, they didn't, because that's how I know you're stupid. You're going off of your own bullshit.
How am I going off my own bullshit?
That up.
I didn't make that up. There was plenty of people saying the Giants were going to trade back in the first round to draft the quarterback.
Yes,
no,
and they were thinking Shador.
I heard it way before that. I heard it way before that.
Shador, bro. It was 3 quarterbacks. It was Shador, Jalen, or Jackson. One of them was they were gonna trade back into the first round. Yes, everyone thought that, but they didn't pinpoint the quarterback till literally the day of the draft. And to that point, they still thought it was Shador until they sent in the pick.
Well, they only thought it was Shador just for TV. They didn't really think it was Shador.
Some people did. Some people didn't. Some people did. Just like you're saying, some people said they predicted their stupidity.
They did.
Trading back in for the first round for a quarterback isn't stupid. That's the Ravens literally did that. The Ravens did that. The Ravens did that. The Ravens did that.
For these quarterbacks, they didn't get Lamar Jackson. Did they get Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson was first overall, but that's a different story. That's a different story. That's racism.
That's why it's different.
Yeah.
Stupid.
We'll find out. We'll find out. Well, because why did Josh Allen go 7th overall that year?
He didn't throw accurately.
But he went 7th overall?
Well, he could have gone farther up. He could have gone number 1 overall.
Why didn't he?
Because he wasn't accurate.
Okay, we'll see. Guess who was the coach that helped him improve his accuracy? Brian Daboll. Also, we'll see. We'll see. Let's break down, right? All right. Pick number 12. Well, actually, let's start with the third overall pick. Let's talk about the third overall pick. Let me bring up the Giants drafts. Give me a minute, please. Let me bring it up. That's Carolina. That's why is this not in alphabetical order? Why is this not in alphabetical order?
Why does that be in alphabetical order?
Yo, this is the they ranked it. They ranked it. So this article ranked
round by round or in order of pick.
No, I know, but there's articles that I have. I'll shout out the article people later. Let me just get these teams. All right, Chargers. All right, Miami. All right, Minnesota, New England, New Orleans. The Giants here. The Giants are I got it over here, and this is the ranked one. I think the Giants were ranked pretty high. Cowboys, by the way, are ranked the 9th on this article. The Giants were the Cowboys were. Where the Patriots got 1? That's crazy. Oh, okay, there it is. So in this article, they ranked all 32 teams. In this article, they did it alphabetical order, just showed all the picks. Go to the alphabetical article. First, third overall pick, first round, New York Giants draft Abdul Carter, edge out of Penn State. Shout out to Jay, says, I feel like the Panthers and the Cowboys got beef. They did get beef. Shout out to the homie Leo. Leo, One of the best Ochoas I know. Tremendous guy. Tremendous guy. Shocks me that he birthed this guy. I don't know. I met Leon.
He birthed me. My mom birthed me, so I don't know what the hell you
Right
talking
about that.
about.
To be quite honest with you, I don't know why you didn't get a slice of your dad's personality, because your dad's amazing. You're an asshole. But let's break it down here. Abdul Carter, edge out of Penn State, wears number 11. Everyone's kind of seeing that's kind of a makeup of the Micah Parsons draft, where we didn't draft Micah Parsons. We decided to trade out of that pick and draft Kadarius Toney instead. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So we ended up getting Abdul Carter in the they're saying he's the best edge player in the draft. We got that guy. So we have Tibbs, Brian, Kayvon. So we'll see how they, set that up. They're all 250 pounds, so none of them got true beef on them. Because everyone kept talking about it during draft day. They talked about the famous NASCAR package that the Giants used to run in the mid 2010s. Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, Chris Canty, and Jason Pierre-Paul. They're like, how can they put all those players on the field together? It worked because Canty was 310, 320, 300 pounds. Jason Pierre-Paul was 270. Justin Tuck was 265. And the smallest of the crew, funny, was Osi Umenyiora at 255. At 255, 260. All these guys are lean edge rushers who are around 250, 255. Nobody got beef. The only person who got too strong is Dexter Lawrence in the middle. So that could work. So you got to make sure how to. But then they also ended up drafting Darius Alexander in the 3rd round, which helps Dexter, because Dexter, we need to free him up. He's getting double teamed a lot, so we need to free him up, create some chaos, some pass, some rush lanes, some sacks. Like we said, man, back in the I think we talked about this two weeks ago, Caleb. Nowadays, the easiest way to get a sack is from point A to point B, which is down the middle of the A gaps, right? Bam, bam. It's the fastest. Going around, going around, because QBs are throwing it quicker now. So going around the tackles,
step up in the pocket.
Yeah, and if they go around the pocket, they step up, boom, got him. So going around takes longer. Going straight is faster. So you need to beef up the middle of your defense line with pass rushers and run stoppers. So you have Dex Lawrence, who's the all-around defensive tackle, who's more of kind of becoming the nose, and then you have Darius Alexander to help him out. I love that pick. Jackson Dart, we're gonna wait and see. If QB guru Brian Daboll, like I think I was on the homie Monty's podcast.
Good job with Daniel Jones.
Yeah, well, Daniel Jones, you couldn't develop any of that, so it just didn't work. I was on. He's a giant. Monty, shout out to the homie Monte Cristo and Sal. He's not a content creator. I was on their podcast. They talk about the draft with Jackson Dart. Brian Daboll. You got a year and a half. 2 years max.
He does not. The Giants they're all getting fired for making these picks.
So if they don't get fired,
they're all getting fired.
If they don't get fired, you owe me $50.
Fine.
Okay. If they do get fired, I'll owe you $50.
These are not good picks. Like Abdul Carter is a great player, but you already have pass rushers. Why do you need another one? What you don't have is an offensive line. That's what you don't have.
But who you draft at?
The best offensive line on your board.
Will Campbell.
Yes, if he's the best one on your board, then you draft him because we
already have 2 tackles that were
doesn't matter. You do not have 2 tackles.
Yes, we do. Andrew Thomas, Jermaine Illuminor.
He's not good.
Who?
Both of them, to be honest.
Andrew Thomas is not good.
No,
what?
Mike Parsons takes him to school every.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Was sick. He was sick. He was sick. Oh my God! You keep doing that bullshit.
It's not bullshit. It happens. All of that bullshit. If it happens,
Watch the fucking game. All your sacks came off of the right side. You dumbass. Watch the game. Watch the game, bro.
That means you don't have 2. That means you don't have 2 if it came off
exactly.
The right side.
That right tackle was Evan Neal. Now he's a guard. Jermaine Illuminor is our new right tackle. Andrew Thomas needs to be healthy. That's why we shut him down last year. He's going to come back healthier.
One offensive line doesn't help you.
Well, Evan Neal's a guard now.
Well, so they all suck. The rest of them all suck. They all suck.
Well, yeah, John Michael Schmitz is very bad. That's why we ended up drafting Marcus Umbau. So shout out to Marcus.
So
He's learning how to play center.
Something that's you already paying a bunch of money to Brian Burns. You have
Yes.
Kayvon Thibodeau already.
Yes.
You already have Dexter Lawrence. Why do you need another guy?
I guess they went BPA. They went BPA, and you know what BPA is.
Well, your team's gonna suffer for it.
We'll see. You know, I'm okay with winning games.
You're not gonna win games because
what if we win games 12-8? I'm fine with that.
It's not gonna happen 12-8.
Yeah, you know, we beefed up our safeties, our cornerbacks. We got Paulson Adebo. We got Javon Holland with Tyler Nubin. I'm a big fan of our linebackers and Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. You know, I'm okay with winning games 12-8 or 17-14. I'm cool with that. We keep going down. We ended up drafting another a defensive lineman we really needed was a defensive tackle. Darius Alexander. No, we actually need one. Why? He's the one we need. Edge rushers, you can, you know, why? But you needed someone to alleviate the pressure off of Dexter Lawrence. He needs help. And Darius Alexander was that guy. He was the best defensive tackle available. Like he was, I think, in the top 5 or 10 of the best players available left in that draft. And we ended up getting him. We go running back in the 4th round. For our first pick of day 3, we went running back.
I would have if I was the Giants. If I was a Giants fan, I would want the first 3 picks to be on all offense.
Okay. Well, two of the first 4 were offense.
Alignment, receiver, 2nd or 3rd round.
But we have a receiver.
No, you have one. Who the hell else?
Outside, who in this draft class receiver wise that you think should have been drafted?
It doesn't matter. They're all better than what you guys have.
Are you sure about that? You're assuming
I'm very sure about that.
You're assuming college kids who've never played it down in the NFL are better than NFL players
that you guys have.
Ooh. Yes. Okay. So the 3rd round we should have drafted a receiver. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Who was there at the 3rd round that should have been drafted?
Doesn't matter. Top of the board.
Exactly. You don't know then. Then you just proved you didn't know. So shut up.
I know that your receiver sucked. That's what I know.
But who was good enough in the 3rd round? In the 3rd round, let's look it up. You know what? Enough with this bullshit.
How's it enough with bullshit? You already know who your receivers are.
Exactly, but let's see. You said
not good.
Let's just see.
Do you actually think your receivers outside of your number 1 guy are good?
I think Darius Slayton is a solid number 2 receiver. He's a solid number 2 receiver.
He's
a solid number 2.
Number 2 receiver.
Yeah, he is. He's
not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's definitely is not.
Okay. In the 3rd round, these are the receivers that went in the 3rd round: Savion Williams out of TCU, Tay Felton out of Maryland, Jalen Noel out of Iowa State, and Pat Bryant out of Illinois. Do you know any of them, Caleb? Exactly. Shut up. Shut up.
I know, but what I do know is Darius Slayton.
What you know is you know nothing. Shout out to Jay.
That's what I do.
I feel like the Panthers played the Giants, got out of playing one edge $30 million, then drafted 2 potentially better ones to replace him. Well, let's see if they are better than him. You still don't know, Jay. I think Wandell is a wide receiver 3 when healthy. He is. He's a slot guy. Intermediate routes in the 5 to 10 yard range. That's what he is. And then, finally, also, too, we have a quarterback that likes throwing the deep ball. Jalen Hyatt will probably be used a little bit more because they drafted a deep threat receiver, and they have a quarterback who didn't throw deep.
You still can't protect them because you didn't draft any off the line.
We drafted Marcus Mbao. All right. Speaking of Marcus Mbao, we drafted him in the 5th round. Also, we should have went, and then in the 7th round, you kind of just like throw up your hands, be like, just pick someone. We don't really care. So they drafted tight end Thomas Fidone, the 2nd out of Nebraska. Fidone's, I know Thomas Fidone, but I know him only because of NCAA 25. I played with Nebraska. He was actually my favorite target when he was on Nebraska. So we'll see about that. And Corey Black, cornerback out of Oklahoma State. I heard he tested very well athletically. We'll see if he can, develop. We did fire Jerome Henderson, our cornerback, our secondary coach. So we'll see if there it is. Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. Because Daniel Jones didn't throw deep. He was scared to throw the ball deep. But when Tyrod Taylor was in the game, Tyrod Taylor found Jalen Hyatt easily. So it was all Daniel Jones's fault. But now let's go to the Dallas Cowboys. Um, the grades they gave for the New York Giants. Day 1 they gave an A. Day 2 they gave an A minus, and day 3 they gave an A. So overall, it's an A.
People always like give like a bunch of they always give high grades. Like they rarely criticize any of these teams.
Oh no, some of them get ripped apart. But we'll see. But shout out to this article. Favorite pick, of course, is Abdul Carter off of this. He spent the first 2 years as off-ball linebacker at Penn State, just like Micah Parsons, just like LeVar Arrington did as well. By the way, his son is at Penn State now, wearing the number 11. So there's that. Then he became a pass rusher, probably because he saw what happened to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was off ball, then he became a pass rusher. So he decided to start the development early, which is a great choice. Start it early. The sleeper pick they really liked is Marcus Mbow. Honestly, they don't know why. This is Daniel Jeremiah, Eric Elderhorn, and Lance Zierlein thought he was a top 100 player. They thought he was going to go in the first 3 rounds. They don't know why he lasted to the 5th. He, right tackle, guard versatility, has over 10 games starting each positions, and he's also been learning how to play center in this offseason. Prior to the draft, he was learning to play center. So he's doing development center. I think they may have him at guard and center. So if he pans out, Evan Neal and John Michael Schmitz, they're out of jobs. So we'll see about that. I think Evan Neal's a better guard. I think because he's powerful, he's just not fast. He's, imagine, because that's what really killed him against Dallas. Michael Parsons was just faster than him. They're all just faster than him. Just like he couldn't get his hands on him. He kind of was okay with DeMarcus, but then DeMarcus was strong, bigger and stronger than him, and he shoved him around because he wasn't in the weight room like that. So DeMarcus shoved him around. But yeah, speed, he was dead. He was dead to rights. So all right, I liked our draft. We'll see. This draft means nothing if Jackson Dart pales.
Yeah, and that's how everybody's going to get fired.
Yeah, but we'll see about that. It's a wait and see thing, so we'll see. All right, let's go to Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys. So they're actually 7th on the ranking article. All right, so no, they're 9th. They were 9th. And then Dallas, let's get over here. All right. You like the draft, Caleb? You like the presentation?
A presentation like on NFL Network?
You're an NFL Network guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's better than hearing Mel Kiper complain the whole goddamn draft.
Yeah, it's true. All right, let's talk about it. All right, the Dallas Cowboys. Right off the bat, they had 1 first-round pick. They drafted guard Tyler Booker. Makes sense. Their Hall of Fame guard just retired. So going guard, it makes sense. That's kind of I think that was Will and Steven.
Yeah, obviously, Zach Martin retired, had to fill his shoes coming in, and I like this guy. I like how strong he looks, playing for Alabama, going up against NFL type players. And he didn't give up a whole lot of size. I mean, he really did. And it's mostly because he's a big, powerful guy. And it's hard to get by him, and that's what I love about this pick. And hopefully, he comes in here and plays as well as Tyler Smith, or even living up to what Zach Martin did his rookie year. And I think he can. And I think it's a great fit for us, and he'll come up right in and be a starter right away. So I think we just drafted our new starting right guard right there.
Yeah. Well, now let's talk about. Jay brings it up. I wanted the Panthers to draft Ezeruku. Donovan Ezeraku out of Boston College. That was your second pick in the second round. Edge. Did you really need? Well, DeMarcus Lawrence left, so you did need it.
Yeah, but
you did need it.
We didn't really need it. This was not a need. This was
luxury.
This is best player available. This is why. Well, just overall, I mean, I like these players that we picked, but I don't like the decisions that we made. Obviously, because we did not pick a receiver.
Yes.
And that's what I hated about this draft, because we don't have anybody outside of CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we literally have nobody to throw to. We have no other receivers. They're all bums. Jake Ferguson was hurt a lot of the year last year.
Jack Ferguson.
Yeah, so I
Got
mean,
engaged.
who is he? Who's Ted throwing to? Especially when a year when he's coming off of injury, he just doesn't have any weapons except CeeDee Lamb. That's it. That's why I question decision making about this draft and not drafting someone to throw to. But yeah, as far as Araku, yeah, this guy was extremely productive in college. I mean, 16 and a half sack last year.
Yes.
This guy can rush the quarterback. I saw the Baldinger's breakdowns. He showed like 3 different plays where he did 3 different pass rushing moves. Getting by the off the line, whether it was a spin or a swim or the dip. So this guy's coming in like already having that in his tool, that knowing how to
lost art nowadays in with pass rushers because they tend to just use speed and power.
Yeah,
they don't really
use a lot
of
them just kind of try to go straight through the guy. This guy is finding ways to get around off the lineman, which I love to see. So I think it's a really good player. It's a really good player. I just question decision making.
All right, so 3rd round, you go corner. You still haven't gotten a receiver. You go corner. You go Chevelle Ravel Jr. Coming off of a torn ACL. If he didn't tear his ACL, he was actually a top 5 corner prospect.
He's going to be a first-round pick.
He was going to be a first-round pick, but he tore his ACL, so he fell to the 3rd round. This is kind of like your thing, Caleb. 3 of your corners, Deron Bland tore his ACL. No, Trevon Diggs.
Well, he did 2 years ago, but he's healthy now.
But didn't he just tear something last year?
No, he was fine after he came back.
So which one of y'all tore their Achilles or ACL? One of y'all.
Trevon Diggs got hurt again.
So Trevon got hurt
again. Diggs didn't take his rehab seriously after the previous year's injury. He didn't rehab. He wasn't in the building a lot, and the Cowboys were kind of mad about that. That's even Jerry Jones even made the comment like, "Yeah, I hope he takes it seriously this time."
Yes. Wow. Yeah. Calling him out.
This was a need for us, considering we probably won't have him for the beginning of the year.
But why draft him? He tore his ACL. Why
the doctors? At least they talked to the doctors and said he will be ready for the start of the season. He's at least on track to be back for the start of the season. So that's why we draft him. And a big reason why we draft him is because we lost Jordan Lewis and we have no nickel cornerback now. So we hope to fill, well, at least I hope that he fills that role as well as Jordan Lewis, because Jordan Lewis was a hell of a nickel corner.
Only 2 corners were drafted in the 3rd round. It was Chevelle Riel Jr. and Azare Thomas out of Florida State. 4 picks later to the Jets. So I guess it was only between them 2, and they chose the guy. They said him injured is better than you fully healthy.
Well, yeah, so, I mean that's like you said, that's what a lot of the people thought, that he was a much better player than where he's drafted. It's just history. So yeah, I think we might have got a steal here if he does pay off.
Yeah, back-to-back 5th round picks. Not back-to-back, but in the 5th round. Actually, only 3 picks apart. Actually, you go running back.
No 4th round pick because we traded for Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, man. So the Panthers screw you over, and then Micah Parsons was pissed that the Panthers took T-Mac 8th overall because he wanted.
Yeah, T-Mac. I think that going back to the 1st round, Cowboys were very much gonna take
Tedero McMillan. Yeah.
Yeah, they were definitely gonna pick him if he was there for us. It was probably
well.
Yeah, it was probably Genty first. T-Mac 2nd, and then Tyler Booker was, where they came to.
Thank you, Jerry.
The Panthers definitely took our guy.
And you gave him a 4th round pick as well. So there's that. So in the 5th round, you go running back Jaden Blue out of Texas and linebacker Shamar James out of Florida. Pick 149, pick 152. Let's go with Jaden Blue, Caleb. I'm not gonna call him a local kid because he's not, because he's in Austin, not in Dallas. So, but you're a Longhorns fan.
Yeah, I mean, I love this pick.
Jaden Blue, why? What you probably watched a lot of Texas. What made you think him because he wasn't the starter. Greg Weisner was, right?
He split time. I mean,
He split time. Okay.
I mean, it's not really starter at Texas. It was kind of just a mix of different guys.
Who's hot, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But he was great. He was great at Texas. What really stands out about him is that he's fast. He's really fast. Reminds me a lot of how Tony Pollard played. Tony Pollard wasn't a every down back, and I feel like this Jaden Blue isn't either. But he can be just as explosive with those home run type of plays that Tony Pollard once made when he was with the Cowboys. I think Jaden Blue can do the exact same thing in the exact same role that Pollard had when he was with us. So that's basically what I see. I see Tony Pollard and Jaden Blue. I think he can be just as good as that. The one thing he does have to work on is he needs to carry around the football like 24/7 because he fumbles.
Yeah. All right. We keep Shamar James, Caleb. What's the talk around town?
I have no idea about this guy. I never heard of this guy.
Yeah, Florida. They just say they haven't been producing the best talent of late, so we'll know about that. But in the 6th round, he had one pick. It's actually my guy, Johnny Cornelius, the right tackle out of Oregon. He's actually from Rhode Island. He was an FCS kid who transferred up, played very well, played very good at Oregon. He's going to be a swing tackle. You drafted a swing tackle. I trust the Cowboys with offensive linemen. That's why when Tyler Booker got drafted, I was like a guard. Like I didn't say that. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, because everyone said, why the hell they draft Travis Frederick? And then guess what happened? Guess what happened? He's the best center in the NFL until he gets sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't get sick, what happens? You know what I mean? So exactly. So I think Johnny and Tyler Booker are gonna be good pieces. Johnny's gonna be your swing tackle, probably your second tackle. You bring in jumbo sets. He's gonna work out. He's gonna be good. That's good. And then you go defensive tackle, Jay Tuai. Running back in the 7th round, Phil Maffa. I know about Phil. And another defensive tackle, Tommy Aking Bisotti out of Maryland. So 2 D tackles and a running back.
Yeah.
Attacking 2 areas of need for you.
Yeah, obviously we definitely need a defensive tackle, maybe higher picks, considering what Mozzie Smith has not brought us. He's been terrible. So we definitely need that one technique. Obviously, we just signed Oso Digizua, but he's 3 technique. We need just a big guy that can play the run, and we invested 2 picks in that. We'll see what they can do. I mean, they are low round picks, so I'm not expecting too much, but I mean it's not hard competition to beat Mozzie Smith.
Yeah.
So and then as far as
just show up. And you beat Mozzie Smith.
As far as Maffa, he's a more of a power back, kind of like the complement to what Jaden Blue is, which is a speed.
I believe Maffa is 6'3". I think. Let me double check.
Yeah,
6'1".
It's a big, powerful back, and if he does turn out well, then that'd be a great combination to put him with Blue. Speed and power right there. So hopefully that turns out well, but. Like I said, both of those running backs don't have a lot of competition because the rest of the running backs aren't that good.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the second article that pulled up. The favorite pick, sleeper pick. Favorite pick, Siobhan Ravel Jr. That's the favorite pick because of the ACL in September. So it was early on in the season in college in September. So he's been out for a couple of months. But they're saying you guys played the long game perfectly. He has pterodactyl wingspan. First time I ever heard someone describe a wingspan as pterodactyl. So Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Well, that's the kind of cornerbacks we usually take.
Yeah.
We like long type of defensive backs.
Caleb, I would love this pick if you had one person still with you. Al Harris.
Yeah.
If you had Al Harris, I'd be like, oh, he's gonna be the cornucopia of knowledge that Al Harris is gonna give this kid. It's going to be amazing because, Deron Bland, 5th round pick, 4th round pick.
5th round.
5th round pick, Deron Bland. Boom. So I would be happy with that. But unfortunately, Al Harris left when you fired Mike McCarthy. And now Al Harris is in Chicago, which is weird because he's a Packers legend. Don't point that out. Al Harris, Packers legend, is the cornerbacks coach of the Chicago Bears.
But even without him, we still keep the kind of same mentality of drafting these big corners. Just because we play a lot of zone. I mean, that's mostly what we play is a zone defense, and you need kind of like the longer corners to, play a bigger part of the field when you're covering your area. So that's what I like them.
Sleeper pick, they said. Is it Jaden or Jadon?
Jaden Blue.
Jaden Blue. It's Jaden Blue. That's the sleeper pick. Apparently, mock draftable is a fun resource to track measurables and testing from the combine, providing historical data from the 1999 draft class. Basically, he said the top match to Jaden Blue, the top match, is Devon Achane. So you basically drafted Devon Achane or Devon Achane or a poor man's Devon Achane, which means he's very fast. So we'll see about
he's very fast. Yeah. He's very fast.
So yeah, it's a very good pick. Outside of that, UDFAs I think are still coming through. I don't know the New York Giants UDFAs because they haven't been finalized. Because when do they get finalized, by the way?
I don't know. Whenever they're filled up on the roster, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And we got some comments.
Oh yeah, we got some comments. Oh, that's just Reg talking about the Cowboys about to tank for a top quarterback. Nope. Can't wait to see what the Cowboys want next year. Yeah, because the Panthers just steal them away. Cowboys want to make up for last year after sitting on their hands and watching the Panthers take their guy, even though the Panthers messed up in that pick because their guy ended up tearing his ACL again. Reg, honestly, I like Dak. They need to hope that the coaching catches up with the talent they have. Sure, I guess. But you hired Brian Schottenheimer, so I don't know how much coaching do you expect to happen. Not much, really. I'm looking up the UDFAs just to make sure. I see some UDFAs for the Giants. Let me see for the Dallas Cowboys UDFA tracker. All right. You have Trayshawn Holding, receiver out of Oregon. You guys hired Junior Adams. I forgot about that. The wide receiver coach out of Oregon. He's now in Dallas. So Trayshawn Holding. Zion Childress, cornerback out of Kentucky. Elijah Clark, safety out of Syracuse. Rivaldo Fairweather. That's a name. My name is Rivaldo Fairweather. Tight end out of Auburn by way of FIU. Another Syracuse cat, Justin Barron. Texas Tech, Josh Kelly. But he was at Fresno State and Washington State beforehand. Mike Smith out of Eastern Kentucky. So some FCS representation. We got Bruce Harmon. I think the SFA is Stephen F. Austin, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's Stephen F. Austin. Yeah. And then you have tight end Tyler Neville out of Virginia. Those are your UDFA trackers as we speak. For the Giants, the UDFA trackers are rumored. We have the camp invites here, and the rumored is a little longer. So the camp invites is Jimmy Holiday, Blake Arnault from Coastal Carolina, and Jimmy Holiday from Louisiana Tech. Jaquie Douglas, Florida State wide receiver. Isaiah McLeavy, DB out of Louisiana Tech. By the way, Louisiana Tech's head coach is in the chat, Mr. J the Six. Reed Douglas out of Findlay University. I don't know where that is. Eric Anderson out of Western University. Okay. And Jeremiah Ojo, defensive lineman at Universitat de Montreal. So we got a Canadian. So shout out to the Canadians. But the rumored, we got Bo Collins, DeLon Cambridge, Makari Page, safety, Michigan, Bo Collins, wide receiver, Notre Dame, DeLon Cambry, wide receiver, Louisiana, that's probably LSU or Lafayette, maybe LSU. DeQuan Felton, wide receiver, Virginia Tech. Trace Ford, defensive lineman, Oklahoma. Jordan Bile out of Gardner-Webb. Jermaine Terry, tight end out of Oregon State. R.J. Delancey III, cornerback, Wisconsin. Nate McCullum, wide receiver, North Carolina. Tommy McCormick, DB out of Idaho. And Antoine Juice Wells, wide receiver, Ole Miss. And Jason Williams, offensive lineman, Youngstown State. And O'Donnell Fortune, cornerback, South Carolina. We also added Jackson Dart's college center as a UDFA as well. So there's that. But pretty much that's all we got. We ain't got really much going on anymore. We can't wait till rookie training camp happens. We can talk about a little bit more stuff. But outside of that, Caleb, I ain't got no other news.
Yeah, it's just I like like I said, just my overall thoughts on the draft. Just I hate the fact that we didn't get receiver.
Yeah, receiver was
better if we got a receiver, because we just got nobody there.
Right. Like the analysis, right, Caleb? Cowboys bypassing the available offensive skill position player and defensive talent at 12 is what kept it from being an 8. Where is it?
I would put a higher grade on it too if we have gotten that.
But at 12, let's look at it, Caleb. Let's look at it. Wide receivers, first round, NFL.
I would have got Matthew Golden.
Okay. So Matthew Golden would be the one you would draft. So
yeah.
So you weren't getting Travis Hunter. You weren't going to get him.
Because I could have lived with putting Brock Hoffman or TJ Bass at guard and just living with that. Even the new guy we just signed from the Dolphins, forgot I think he played all season with the Dolphins last year. We got him in free agency. So I would have been, we obviously wouldn't have been, ideal at guard, but I think we could have made it through. We could have managed that. I just don't know how they're going to manage with no number 2 receiver. I mean, Dak's going to be looking for a CD the entire game, and he's going to be double covered. Who's going to throw it to?
So at 12, so Terrell McMillan was already off the board. So 12. So past 12, we keep going down. You weren't going to go tight end, so Tyler Warren was not in play. Just not going to happen. Emeka Egbuka at 19.
Yeah, you could have been that.
And Matthew Golden at 23. And I think that's it. Those were the only wide receivers post Travis and Tetaroa. So we had, I guess, I say Travis is a wide receiver. He's a better wide receiver. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 receivers win in the first round. 4 receivers in the first round. You could have went with Matthew Golden. You could have. Yeah, you could have. But, I think Emeka Egbuka is better than him, but, I guess. Either. You wanted either. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the problem. And I mean, if they do give if they trade for someone,
but come on, is that likely though? The Cowboys trading for somebody?
They've been talking about it. There's rumors and talk that they.
But who?
I have no idea.
Okay,
George Pickens, maybe, I don't know.
Apparently, Green Bay wants him.
Well, we've been talking about that. We've been talking about trading for, and then obviously just the last resort is just to sign Amari Cooper back.
He would, yeah, he did. He was. I don't think he was cut by Buffalo. I think he didn't re-sign him. So yeah, the guy you should have never traded, you're bringing him back.
I know.
Yeah, and now he's definitely a wide receiver too.
Yeah, when he's not as good as he was when we got rid of him.
Exactly.
We could have had 2 number 1s. We had 2 number 1s at one time.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did have 2 number 1s at one time.
We did, but he was never on the field. He was always hurt that season when it was both CD and Murray. He was always hurt, he just wasn't on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess I'm going to be focusing on the defensive side of the ball for Darius Alexander and Abdul Carter. There's been a lot of talk about numbers for the New York Giants, which I don't understand why. Because, he talked to Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor said no. And apparently Phil Simms, because he wore 11 at Penn State, Phil Simms wore 11 for us. It's retired. I don't know. There's a video with Phil Simms. I don't know if he agreed to do it or he'll be happy to do it. But me, I'm like, all right, bro, like, you know.
Well, didn't he want Lawrence Taylor's number?
He wanted it, but he wanted it. But he was never gonna get it.
Hell no.
He was never gonna get it. You know what I mean? It's like, go make it, like one, it's my number, it's done. Go make your own shit. I'm not gonna give you my number. Like, people were like, oh man, we want to do what Dallas does with 88. Okay, no one has to do.
We don't do that with the other numbers though. We don't.
Yeah,
do that
you don't do that with the other numbers.
We don't do that with 8. We don't do that with 22.
Yeah. Well, one, you shouldn't have never done with 88 either. But that's another conversation. Disrespecting Drew Pearson like that. You know what I mean? That's disrespectful, to be quite honest with you. But
he wasn't Hall of Famer at the time when they gave it to Michael Irvin.
That's a good point. And then Michael Irvin got into the Hall of Fame before he did, which is disrespectful.
And I mean, and well, yeah, we actually have 2 Hall of Fame 22s too.
Emmett and who?
Bob Hayes. He was 22.
Oh, Bullet Bob Hayes. Yeah. Do y'all do that with 22?
No, we don't.
See? You don't do it with 22. But you do it with 88. You only do it with 88. Yeah, no one's wearing, what's Bob Lilly's number? 54?
Somewhere in the 50s, yeah.
Yeah. No one's walking in and be like, can I have Bob Lilly's number 54?
I think
you'd be like, no.
I don't know if it's retired. I don't know if that number.
Bob Lilly?
It might be.
You told me you have Bob Lilly.
I know. Well, I don't. I know he's in the Ring of Honor, but I don't know if it's retired. I don't know if other people wear it yet. Maybe not. I don't know. Because it's a lot of those 74. Yeah, he was 74.
It's unofficially retired. But no one has ever wore 74 during the season. So no one's ever worn it, but it's not retired. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Just retired. It's probably a 74 like during when they have like 90-man rosters.
Shout out to Fantasy Dog. Shout out to you. What's up?
When they have like 90-man rosters, they probably get.
Yeah, they give. Except in preseason games. That's what they said. Except in preseason games. Yeah. So apparently, however, it's widely understood that certain numbers, like Bob Lilly 74, Roger Staubach's 12, 12 Aikman's 8, and Emmitt Smith's 22 will not be issued again for regular season play. Then retire them.
They basically are.
But then just formally retire them.
They are. They're in the Ring of Honor.
No, but they're not retired. They just said they're not retired. They just don't give it out.
Yeah, they just don't give it out. Exactly.
Yeah, these numbers may be worn in preseason or during training camp.
There's 90. There's only so many numbers. There's only 90. Oh, now there's 100 numbers because of 0.
Yeah.
So there's 100 numbers you can pick from when they have 90-man rosters, and you have like 5 of them already retired.
Well, how many are retired for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, those 74 and like all those guys, 12, 8, 22.
But not 88.
Not 88, no.
Well, thank you, Fantasy Dog. He subscribed. Shout out to you, dog.
Thanks for the subscription.
Yeah. Are you a Cowboys fan, Fantasy Dog? Are you a real person?
Well, he knew 74. I mean,
yeah. Well, he knew the 74. That's true.
He knew the 74.
But Bob Lilly. But Bob Lilly is the only player ever to wear 74 for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, 54 was what's his name? God damn, the Manster. The other dude's tackle.
Oh, he's not a Cowboys fan, no.
Randy White, yeah.
Randy White was 54. Yeah. Randy White was 54. What a coward that Randy White is.
Why?
Coward. He crossed the picket line, bro.
So?
Come on, man. Tony Dorsett number retired. Was that 33?
Yeah. 33, yeah.
Is it retired?
Yeah, I mean, nobody wearing. I don't remember any 33s.
Post Tony Dorsett? Yeah. Was a Browns fan, then they moved. Oh, okay. So you're no longer a Browns fan? Because they came back. They came back in 99. So unless you're like a lot of the Browns fans. Fan? No. Oh wow, are you a Ravens fan?
Well, if they
no, exactly. But they came back in 99, so you would have stayed a Browns fan in 99, right? So
what was he a fan of in '97? And
well, no. So the Browns were coming back.
Who was he a fan of in '97?
Well, nobody.
He just wasn't a fan. Just didn't know the NFL.
He quit the NFL, took up golf. Well, golf's pretty good. Yeah. Shout out to Rory McIlroy. He finally got his gold. He got his green jacket. He finally won the Masters, so that's good for Rory McIlroy. Oh yeah, been on some leaderboards. Yes. See, there it is. He's been on some leaderboards. Well, Caleb, that's it. Our team's drafted good.
Not your team.
You're just a hater, so I'm gonna let it.
I'm not a hater. Your team didn't draft.
Dude, you're literally the epitome of it. You have never.
How am I hating?
I
literally gave you my explanation why I did not like your draft. I thought your draft was stupid. It wasn't because I'm hating. I just think it's poor decision making when your offense sucks.
So we should have drafted 4 offensive linemen.
Hell yeah, you probably should have.
And a receiver.
Hell yeah.
And like 2 quarterbacks.
Your defense is already pretty decent. Before pre-draft, you had already.
But who at 3 do we draft, Caleb?
What you said yourself? You even said yourself. You improved the safety position. You improved the cornerback position in free agency. So why did you have to draft any defensive players?
I guess Abdul Carter's talent. Abdul Carter's talent was too much to pass up.
If you took care of the defense in free agency, then take care of the offense
safety and corner. Draft. But they did safety and corner. They probably don't believe in Kayvon Thibodeau. Well, they did pick up his 5th-year option, which would be kind of weird. But, it is what it is. They probably said the talent of Abdul Carter is too much over Will Campbell. They probably was like, it's too much. The gap is too far. He's just too good. They went BPA. You famously said, Caleb, just take the best player there. You don't know what's going to happen.
When did I ever say that? I have never said that at all.
Yeah, you have. You said don't tank. You said don't tank. Just draft where you draft.
I've never said that. I always hate that mentality.
Oh, so you want people to tank?
No, I want people to take what they need.
Oh, so you're more of a need guy.
Yeah, why would you if you need some milk? Why are you gonna go buy some juice?
What if I prefer?
You already have juice. You already have juice at home.
I want 2 juices.
Yeah, but you need milk.
You know what?
You're baking
give me the orange juice. Give me the apple juice. I'll drink both the juice.
You're a baker and you already have the juice.
Okay, now you're changing. Milk. See, you're changing the subject now. You're talking about now we're baking. Now we're baking. We're baking now.
You're a baker. You need your ingredients, and you're going there to buy some juice.
Hey man, I make my apple cinnamon crumble with apple juice. How do you know people don't do that?
But you already have juice.
Why are you talking about milk anyway? You're a vegan. You don't drink milk.
So
drink your almond shit.
Your team is just your team.
With your lactate, your soybeans, and your fried tofu.
That's what.
Yeah. All you do is eat eggs. You eat eggs. You're a fake vegan. I saw you eat eggs.
Because I'm vegetarian.
Oh no! So now you're a vegetarian. Now you're a vegetarian. Where can people find you, vegetarian man?
Well, you can find me buying not milk, almond milk. And you can also find me on this Sunday on what's your show called again?
The Open Table, you douche. Yeah, come on, man. Pay attention.
My bad. Open Table talking about WrestleMania, even though WrestleMania was like 2 weeks ago, but
why not? Let's talk about it, man. It's WrestleMania, man.
Okay. And then you can find me on Twitter and /X on NFLK22 and on Instagram at NFLK22 as well.
All right, guys. My name is Ferris Blonde. You can find me at Ferris Blonde on Twitter. You can find me here every Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific, Good Friends, Better Rivals, and Sundays, 6 o'clock Pacific on the Open Table. Also, to everyone, we're doing our Rewatchers series. We have 3 shows of that. We have the Buffy Rewatchers series, which drops every Thursday, 3 o'clock Pacific. Our Angel Rewatch show, which drops Fridays at 3 o'clock Pacific. So actually, that dropped today on our entertainment channel. And then Saturdays, 3 o'clock Pacific, our MCU Rewatchers Council is up and running this this Saturday, so make sure to hop over there. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. So we really appreciate it. Talk about us in the comments. So we really appreciate the engagement. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Leo, you're the best, and your son's a fraud.
Okay.